Doug, do you think these new numbers are a reflection of how President Trump's tariffs are impacting Americans?
I think there's a real learning moment right now. The president has made this the centerpiece of his economic policy. It's had dramatically bad impact on farmers, on manufacturing. People have seen that. It's had a broader impact on the global economy with bad feedback for the United States. And so, economists can talk about comparative advantage for decades. This is a much more effective way to teach people the importance of trade.
Derek, I'm assuming that if you would have asked people, do you favor free and fair trade, they would probably say, yes, I do, in similar numbers. It just goes to trying to push the Chinese, like the president and his team are, to be more fair so that we can have free and fair trade.
Yeah, I'd like to see that question about do you support free trade broken down by country. I hope I support free trade with Canada would be 95%. And I support free trade with China would be well below 50%. You basically cannot have free trade with the Chinese given their current development model. So Americans are hoping for something that's a great hope. And with many countries, we can have free trade, but not with China.
I guess my question, Doug, is what is the takeaway for politicians running in 2020? You've got President Trump on one side and a lot of Democrats on the other. Right. Not sounding that different from Trump in some of the protectionists, we have to go after them. We have to make sure they're playing by the rules or else we're going to punish them and not do trade deals with them. Even Joe Biden, who under President Obama was trying to sell TPP, now says he wouldn't back it.
Yeah, I think Derek's onto something. I mean, everyone knows that China has been the bad actor on the global stage, and there is agreement across the spectrum on that point. And so no one is going to get into a political fight with the president about singling out China for being a bad actor on trade. What there will be a fight about is tactics. So far, his approach, punitive tariffs, have produced about $100 billion a year annualized tax increase on the American consumer, and they've achieved nothing with China. And I think you're going to have a big discussion about why are we doing all this damage to the U.S. economy and getting nothing for it.
Yeah, Derek, what do you make of maybe it's changing messaging or whatever you want to characterize it as from the administration? China's paying the whole thing. We're not paying anything. Prices aren't going up. And then over the weekend, it was Tim Cook having a conversation with the president. Well, Tim Cook told me that tariffs are bad because we're paying them and Samsung, our competitor, isn't. How do you square all of that?
Yeah, I think the president is running into the fact that even if you support tariffs as a tool to coerce the Chinese instead of, say, targeting state-owned enterprises, which I would prefer, but even if you say tariffs were a tool to start with, we're running out of space here. The president didn't want to raise tariffs to affect the Christmas season. If we go to 25% across the board tariffs on all Chinese goods, what do we do after that? So even in the case where you think, oh, tariffs are a good idea, I'm glad the president stood up to China, we need something else, and that's where Doug and I agree. As a tactic, as positive as you can be on tariffs, that's not enough, and we've used them. We need something else, another approach to be more productive.